What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to the pre-snap read, man. You already know what it is, man. This your boy Bridges on top. We got Miss the lovely Robin McGee over here, and we got that
Hey
doggy
y'all.
dog Jerry.
Ah,
You
yes.
already know what it is, man. Welcome to the pre-snap read. From
Hello,
me
hello.
to everybody. Want to say, happy Valentine's Day. I hope y'all have a good weekend, a good weekday. You know what I'm saying? Just something good, something, if you ain't had a Valentine's, at least give something to your mama, give something to your daddy, cousin, brother, sister.
My favorite Valentines are forever my parents.
I
Forever.
feel you.
Gotta
I
take care of
feel
your
you.
parents.
I feel you.
Gotta
You know
take
what my
them.
mom used to do? My mom used to give us candy. When we come back home, she used to give us like little candy. She was like, "Here go all my
Same.
boys." Yeah, so I was like, "Okay, mama."
I get
Even
a
even
card.
even when them little chicken heads didn't come through, you came through, mama.
When they
You
don't come
came
through,
through.
mama gonna take care of you.
Now, why
Oh,
they gotta be chicken heads?
because back in
No.
the day, that's what they was called. Leave them little chicken heads. Leave them little chicken heads alone, boy.
Listen.
Go play
Because
football.
not all of them were chicken heads. I'm
Not
pretty sure you had your little days. You was
not
out there
all of them was
doing
chicken
stuff.
heads, but
Okay, all
That was
right,
because
all
of the
right.
chicken heads.
yeah,
Oh, so y'all act up because of the chicken head. So two
no.
wrongs don't make a right nor left. So I'm trying to understand what
First
happened.
of all, three rights make a left or whatever.
Not man, that's not how that works. That's not how that
Oh,
works
okay,
at all.
then, but still,
Mm-mm.
Like
shoot.
It's a
it's a
day
heart.
of love. Day
Yes,
of love for
the day
all,
of
for
love.
everybody, for the
Yeah,
men and the women.
yeah.
Both.
Even the homeless people, you do gotta
Even
love them. You got to, bruh.
even even the rich. Even the
The
rich.
rich,
Even the poor.
wait, the rich and the poor. That's what it
Everybody.
said in the Bible. Rich and poor.
Listen, love is for everybody. Love thy neighbor as your what? As
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Come on.
Mm. All
Amen.
right, now this
Amen.
Bible study in here tonight.
Have one
Listen,
tonight, tonight.
this is pre-snap read, but we can go into
And
the Bible.
I done told
The
you.
King James Version. Hello.
Amen. Let's get it right now. All right.
You
But
already
uh,
got the voice. The sultry voice is there. Oh, I'm really digging it though,
shoot.
Ron.
Hey, don't
Like
don't
you're
play
really
me.
connecting.
My uncle and my mama was in that pulpit, so you know.
Ooh.
And the Lord told me that I would never let you go. And on this
Wow.
day, okay, I need to
Mm.
stop. I need to get into the show.
Well,
I'm playing too much. I'm playing too much. All
Hey,
right, man. Here we
man.
go, Robin.
Mhm.
This when you take over, Miss. This is you all day, every day.
Listen, guys. So I told you guys I was going to LA. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to the game because the way my pockets are set up, it's just wasn't happening. However, that was actually one of the best Super Bowl games I think I've seen in a long time. I feel like it was fair. The only, and this is just where I'm going to give you guys my little snippet of watching the whole game. The only thing I'd have to say is fourth quarter, what it was like a minute and 30 seconds left. Bengals get called on a hold. I personally didn't see a hold. I felt like it was a fair defensive act, but not here nor there. Rams get the ball. They make that they make that touchdown, bring it up 23-20, and they close out the game. And it's crazy because I feel like one, Burrows did a hell of a job. Like second year in the NFL, you know what I'm saying? Got hurt last year as a rookie, coming in, and they didn't even have a strong start to this season, right?
Hmm.
And they coming back and, game after game after game, improving and growing. I'm just hella proud of him, honestly. Like, did I want kind of leaning toward the Bengals? Yes. But also at the end of the day, go Tigers. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do y'all feel like it was a fair game? Did it end the way y'all thought it was gonna end? Where are your thoughts? That's me.
Jerry, your mic on mute.
I said
Jerry,
for
turn your
me,
mic.
it ended exactly how I wanted it to end. I'm a big fan of Aaron Donald. I played defensive line myself all the way through 1 year college D line, and OBJ. Von Miller, all those guys, I think they deserve the ring. So for me, I loved how it ended. I loved everything about it. I did feel like it was some kind of iffy calls in there and some no calls that should have been called as well, but I'm overall happy with the outcome.
I think also when you really think about it, there wasn't really any penalties until the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if there were, like, it was, you know, the things that made sense at the time. But I mean, I will say the Rams definitely dominated defense in the second half. I will say that they came through with the come through, and that, I mean, that rattled some feathers for the Bengals for sure because they could not stop Cup at all. Cooper
No,
Cup was in that thing. Like, I definitely have to give it to him. And I feel like if Odell didn't, get hurt when he got hurt, he got the scoring touchdown for them in that first drive. I just feel like if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have been in the stats too. But Cooper Cup, MVP for a reason. Definitely well deserved for them. So I was happy about that as well.
definitely.
Definitely, definitely. With me, I felt like the game was the best Super Bowl I watched in a long time since Patriots and the Panthers back
Yes.
way back in the day. Like I
Oh, three.
remember vividly,
Oh,
remember that
three.
game and the Patriots versus the Eagles. I vividly remember that game and the drives and what it took to get all the way to the fourth quarter for them to you know strengthen it out. So
Hmm.
with me, Cooper Cup, that was a beast. Triple crown winner for receiver. That man was catching a cold. That man was catching corona. That man was catching Delta variant. That man was catching flies. He was catching
Stop
everything.
it. He really was though.
Like everything you threw at him, he was
Whatever
catching it.
came
Like
his way.
yes, he was a man possessed in that second half. Like you can tell when OG Bay or when Odell went down, you can tell they was
Mhm.
kind of rattled and they like, okay, we gotta we gotta act like we been here without Odell. So they had to go back to that game plan in the beginning of the season where they put Cooper Cup in certain matchups and certain situations where he can thrive. And that's what they did. And shout out to
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford for real because like at that one point in time, he looked like he was playing for the Detroit Lions. Then you come down to the
Mm.
fourth quarter, he playing like a Super
That
Bowl
he in the Super
caliber
Bowl.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
No.
shout out to him. He had a nasty no look pass over the middle to
Yes.
Cooper Cup. Um,
Nasty. That was
nasty.
crazy.
Eli
Boy hit
Apple, he
snake
got
eyes.
burnt. Yeah, he got toasted. Even Ramsey got that work too. So like it was a back and forth game. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. But Robin, let's talk about this halftime. It,
Listen, the culture. Let me just tell you, I really appreciate. We already know Super Bowl is always in February. That's our month. That's Black History Month. But this particular halftime show was literally the epitome of what Black history is. First of all, this was the first halftime show that included all hip hop artists. Let's start there. And how many years have we been looking at the Super Bowl? 56. This was the 56th Super Bowl, and that was the first ever in hip hop. What was huge 80s,
mm-hmm.
90s, and they still didn't have that. I mean, you got Dr. Dre coming through. It's Snoop Dogg for me doing the Crip Walk. Then,
Yeah,
then did y'all
yeah,
see that he smoked a blunt
Yes.
right
yeah.
before, or actually in the show? He was in the show, took a puff, and my man said, "Hey,
Yep.
hey!" I
Yep.
said,
Getting it. He
to
was getting
be
it,
in
bruh.
that, oh my God, to be in that stadium, now that would have been the epitome of what it meant to be in such a historical event. Because, I mean, you got Mary J. Blige also being the first female rap artist to come through and deliver her. And I don't know if you guys know, but artists are not paid to do the Super Bowl. Like, to be an artist, yes. I just looked that up. I did some research because Mary J. Blige was talking about, a lot of people was giving her some backlash on why would you do that just for you to be the first, female hip hop artist? Why would you do something like that and not get paid for it? But she straight up said, this is an event for a lifetime. This is a
Mhm.
once in a lifetime event. I'm not going to pass that up on account of money. I can make my money elsewhere. And she's still going to make her bread. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a given. But I mean, all of the artists, not just her, but Super Bowl artists are not paid because the Super Bowl actually pay, or the NFL rather, pays for the production of the event.
Mm.
So the stage, the equipment, the folks, the staff, and the crew that are helping put everything together, those are the folks who get paid, but the actual artists don't get paid. So even just to
Okay.
think about that and how monumental that show was and will probably forever will be, like, I haven't heard any negativity regarding the halftime show from any groups of folks, whether they was at the game, not at the game, all races, colors, and creeds. And I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful thing to have that. And again, Black history, because period. Even Eminem taking a knee, and
Yeah,
they
he
told
took
that
a
man
knee.
not to even
Yeah,
take a knee. They
they
said,
told him not to
Eminem,
take that
don't take
knee,
a
and he
knee.
took it.
But why did y'all think he wasn't going to take one?
It's
That
Eminem.
Yeah,
It's Eminem.
Come on
As
now.
soon as you tell
that
him not to do something, that is a go. That is a green light. And I feel like they knew that.
yeah,
This is
they
all
knew
for
that.
show. It's all publicity. There's
Yeah,
no way that they was expecting him to follow orders. Like
e-
what?
especially he was a white man that took a knee. A white
It's a
man,
white man
the white
taking a
man,
knee.
the white man. The grass is greener, but guess what? This white man took a knee for us.
Listen, but y'all know
Did,
Eminem. He did that. Kendrick. I'm not gonna lie. I think Kendrick Lamar's section probably was my favorite, only because of how hard he came with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, yeah. And then the theatrics of the dances around him. Really the whole show.
Yeah,
You got 50 Cent bringing it back to in the club, in the ceiling, upside down.
that was my favorite part
that's
right
my
there.
favorite
That
part
was
right
like
there.
childhood
Funky in the
memories, you
club.
know.
Yeah,
Shoot the
that's me right there.
little 50 Cent tank top
That's the
boy.
workout playlist to this day.
I was a G Unit
I
person
said,
back
oh,
in the
he
day.
big,
To this day.
big.
Shoot.
Y'all see how big that man is? I
Yeah,
said,
he done got, bro. That's what that weight room do
bitty.
to you.
Somebody
That
said he
slow
sitting
down
in a candy shop.
metabolism.
I love that though. It was exactly what we needed to see.
Definitely.
Everything. Even the who it was, Evan, the kicker for the Bengals,
Yeah,
he stayed. He didn't even go with everybody else in the locker room.
I don't
He
blame him.
stayed.
I
He
would have
said,
stayed
and I
too.
said, see, that's me. Because if I would have been a player on the team, there's no way that I would have gone to the locker room and missed that show. No,
Exactly.
not when I could see it live.
Shoot, and
I don't think so.
I know I gotta kick balls right after they finish cleaning up. Oh yeah, I'm staying out there. I'm staying out
Staying
there all
out.
day.
He did his job. I
Yeah,
said, no, we need this. I loved it. No, guys, 10 out of 10 stars.
definitely, definitely,
It
definitely.
definitely was amazing.
All right. So HBCUs are continuing to make their strides in the big NFLs, NBA, specifically for one of the coaches. We got Howard's former Howard coach, Pep Hamilton, has been hired by the Texans. Go him. Do we feel like this is a good move? Do we foresee him having a lot of contribution for the team? Where are we guys at?
Um, Personally, I love the hire. My boys, Carolina Panthers, actually were looking to hire him, and he actually kind of shooed us away. But anyway, he's a great hire. He's a great hire for that team. Great pickup for him. I think he's going to do great things for that team. Honestly,
Yeah, I feel like it's a great hire, especially coming from HBCU. You know, got to give shout outs to Howard University, man. They're they're more of a basketball school than a football school, but you definitely got to give it out to them as far as what the Texans are looking for. They're looking for a coach. They're just not looking for, oh, this is my buddy down the street and I'm gonna just hire him. So I think the Rooney Rule really helped that. I think Lovey Smith did a good job of trying to find the right person to help Deshaun Watson. You know, hopefully with all this allegation stuff and what happened last year. Hopefully, they can brush everything over the shoulder and let him be the quarterback that he truly is. He's a Pro Bowler. He's an All Star. He could take teams to the playoffs. So give that boy some receivers. That's what they need to do. Give him some receivers because it's just him on the island right now. So you know, once the Texans get their core roster of coaches, and it takes about a year for them to get the players that they want. I think they can turn around as long as the office stay true to letting the coaches coach and the office be the office. If that plays out, then I can see this doing a 360.
Hmm. And it's also important to note that he's not new to the Texans family because he did coach he was the quarterbacks coach prior to actually being named the new offensive coordinator. Um, so it's kind of a great advantage I see for him to have that experience and have that rapport with the team already. So I foresee him doing some great things there, especially I mean, he's not new to the game, especially the NFL route. I mean, even just like Jerry said, although he turned down the Carolina Panthers, it's still nice for him to have the options, right? Like an HBCU coach having the opportunity to turn down interviews and still getting hired is
Right.
is a huge step in the direction that we're trying to look for because we see so many black players, but do we see black coaches, black staff, black managers, general managers, owners, right? So I think that'll be good for him to have that propel his future, especially, they got a new franchise head coach, Love Smith. So don't know too much about him, but it's good to have, new community, new heads coming together, creating a different atmosphere for the Texans. I think they need that. It's good.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Lovey Smith. I want to say Super Bowl. I forgot which one that was, but he went to the Super Bowl with the Bears. You
With
know what?
Devin
With
Hester,
Super,
Brian Urlacher, and he played Pan Mania for the Colts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So he has actually a good rapport with NFL. I don't know why he. Well, we can all assume why he lost his job with the Bears the next season. That's what we're working on now. But
They saw
yeah,
that black
Bless them.
skin, boy.
Bless them.
yeah. But he's a great coach. Going back to Hamilton, I think he's somewhat opening the door for the next college coaches. You got your Coach Simmons. He could be looking
Hmm.
to go somewhere else in the future. You got Coach Maynard.
Yeah.
He's been successful on many different levels. So I think this is kind of like the stepping stone to opening the door for HBCU coaches getting to the NFL. A door that needs to be opened up.
And definitely
Right.
give a shout out to Hugh Jackson because he might have opened that door.
Mm,
So definitely give out a shout out to Hugh Jackson, who has that pipeline, who know people in the NFL, who got contacts with. I know every black coach that coached in the NFL or that's coaching now. So he might have. We don't know until he tells us. So shout out to Hugh Jackson for real.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Going
we,
back.
we
Going
we
back.
we
Going
back
back.
like we never left. You already know. Sure, I'm
We can't
going
let it
back,
go
back,
yet. We
back
can't let
to
it
Cali,
can't let it
Cali.
go.
I'm going back,
Here we go.
back to Cali, Cali. Hey,
Okay,
hey. Okay,
okay.
okay, okay. Let's
So
go.
listen, let's talk about this scandal, so to speak. JSU was trying to pull out of the Southern Heritage Classic, which is normally held in Memphis, Tennessee, normally around that, first, second weekend in September. You know, Deion Sanders went on quote and said, it's not benefiting the swag. Why do we need to do it? Um, Ultimately, the decision is for them to play, but even just to go through the process of JSU trying to pull out, what where are you guys at? Like, do you feel like, is that something that people should consider doing moving forward, not having the Southern Heritage clashes be between JSU and TSU? Should they maybe after their contract, because the contract's supposed to be finished 2024. That's what they have all the way up until now. Of course, we have 2 more years. Now after that, that can definitely change. But what are you guys' thoughts? Like, should they continue? What's going on? Cool.
So me personally, I go back to kind of what Coach K was saying. HBCU, everything about HBCU is about the culture. So
Mm,
it's a cultural thing for this game to happen. That's the first point. When you take the culture away from the game, you're kind of taking some away from the school, from the university, from the atmosphere that you're having these games in. Second point, they had a contract. Why are you breaching the contract? You have a contract until 24. Why are these teams coming out of contract? It makes the university look bad. It makes it look like they're not upholding their end of the bargain. So to me, it's not a good look.
deep side, big dog. Deep side. What you thought?
Damn Jackson State fans. Damn Jackson State fans. Let's talk about I believe Coach Prime. I believe Coach anything you do. I believe. I believe. It's not we believe. It's I believe. That's my coach. That's my AD.
That's
I'm
my
not
boy.
gonna lie. If Prime Time was my football coach,
Man,
I'm not
man.
saying that everything that he says is the gospel. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But what I will say is the fact that the man knows what he is talking about. Now, do I agree with him pulling out of the contract, especially if you only have 2 more years left? Finish out the 2 years and then adjust and reconsider and have conversations then. I don't necessarily agree with his reasoning of how it's not serving the SWAC because even though TSU is not a part of the SWAC, it's still an HBCU. It's still part of the community. Like Jerry just said, it's still part of the culture. And so that has been foundationally rooted for so many years, the Southern Heritage Classic. To take that away just because it's not benefiting another conference that you're a part of, is that really a fair enough analysis? Or are you just kind of being a little selfish. That's exactly how I'm looking at his statement, not necessarily the overallistic view of what it could potentially do for the SWAC. But I don't know. I just feel that's a little selfish to say this it's not benefiting us. So why would we continue to do it? So I'm a little iffy about it. I don't know. But the man knows what he's talking about as far as business. I will give him that. I will give
Man,
Prime Time his flowers.
Robin, let me tell y'all something. I know 2 years ago they weren't trying to get out the Southern Heritage Classic. When Prime wasn't there, they wasn't trying to get out Southern Heritage Classic. When they was losing, they weren't trying to get out that Southern Heritage Classic. When nobody was coming to them games besides homecoming and the Southern Heritage Classic, they weren't thinking about pulling out the game then. So, question. Why is you pulling out the game now? First and foremost, it's about the money. Prime love that money. Aflac commercial saw them gold bars. His eye star got big and everything. Shoot, Prime love the money. But to me, I feel like they bit off more they can chew, and the SWAT did it too. They bit off more they can chew. B, they did it so late in the season because like spring practice about to start, people are already dropping their schedule. It's hard to find somebody to schedule that game, especially the magnitude of that game. It's a classic game, so like I'm the only schedules that I know that hasn't dropped yet is MEAC schedules, and I'm pretty sure most of the MEAC teams, they schedule teams outside. Like they definitely schedule FCS teams. Like I know always South Carolina State, they always have like a Wofford, Furman, or somebody to play in that place of those games where they need to fill their schedule up. So like for Tennessee State, I congratulate them for, doing what they're supposed to do and, looking at the contract and saying, hey, y'all ain't doing right by us and if y'all trying to pull out, we definitely ain't gonna do right by y'all. We're gonna get them lawyers up. So
Right.
we gonna get lawyered up. But for the SWAC and for Dion and for the AD to do that, that's very I feel like that's very not childish, but very disappointing
Hmm.
because the previous years you wasn't trying to pull out the classic, and now you is because you think you big big bad SWAC championships, and you got bullied by South Carolina State, and
Hmm.
you can't cover a fly on fourth and 19.
Oh, this
So
is getting personal.
yeah, it's getting personal.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah, it's
That's what
getting
I'm hearing.
personal.
Yeah.
Shoot, because like it's to me it's crazy that you try to do that, but
Yeah.
like like imagine how can I say? Imagine us trying to pull out the orange. I mean, I know it's not gonna never happen, but like imagine us trying to pull out the Orange Blossom Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
like
just thinking
Looks
about that.
bad, man.
Like there's
that.
but it also, in addition to them having their culture and their foundation within the two schools, but it's also doing something for the city, right?
Yeah.
Memphis thrives off of, especially the black culture of Memphis thrives off of the Southern Heritage Colleges. To change up that foundation, I feel like is really insensitive to the city as a whole because, and then also it seems like Dion just kind of made the decision without having an actual conversation with TSU about it. He just was like, we're not doing it. That's that. And I feel like when you're dealing with, another team and what they've been doing before you got, like, just like how you said, Ron, before Dion got there, you can't just come in here and change it up without even having the courtesy of having a conversation about it and come to a general conclusion or, a compromise, whatever the situation is. And I mean, I just read a release from the president who is just astounded. She goes on to say it's TSU has always been this pillar of openness and transparency, and to have Jackson State, specifically, the football, you know, organization, community, because it wasn't just JSU as a whole. I firmly
Mm-hmm.
believe it wasn't the school that decided this,
Yeah.
just football, kind of just Dion. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's like, where's the opportunity to have a discussion? I don't know. It's like I said, I feel like Dion's point on saying no, it has no benefit to the SWAC. Okay, it could be arguable, but is that necessarily a point for your case? I don't agree. I don't agree
Yeah,
with that at all.
I gotta say something else. Y'all know I lived in Memphis for a while, so I was actually able to attend, the game, and just to
Mm-hmm.
see how many people attended the game and how much it was a packed out game, man. Every fraternity, sorority were there. The halftime show, all of that was amazing. And to know the culture of Memphis, Memphis is a pretty poor city. They're 22% below the national average of how much the average household brings in. Their
Wow.
poverty rate. So
Yeah.
to remove that game from the city, it's going to be a lot of businesses that are missing money, a lot of people that won't be able to do the same things, a lot of vendors that won't. Hey man, I ain't gonna make the money this year at the classic. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Especially
So
the
it's
small black businesses, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
it's messing up a lot of people. It's bigger than just JSU and TSU. It's a whole community, a whole culture thing that they're kind of interfering with.
I mean, to say that like for next year, because they said they I feel like they're not going to play that game next year. That's just honestly, you can tell they don't want no
I mean,
parts
at
in
this
it.
point, I feel like TSU is moving on the side of why would we even want to play the way you just treated us? At least that's how
Yeah.
I would look at it, and especially how the president of the university responded. She's just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Excuse me,
Yeah.
who are you to
But
come in here and change stuff?"
they're gonna take this game personally. Like
Oh, for
for real,
sure.
for real. They like I feel like every game that Jackson State plays this year, everybody gonna take it like real personally because like last year, okay, you got lucky against FAMU. It was a defensive game. You got lucky
Mm-hmm.
against Southern. It was a defensive game. Bethune had you on the ropes. Like a couple of teams had you on the ropes for real, for real. That I feel like you looked up and got your spot, and that's what just football is. It's about spots and picking who and what matchup. This year, people are coming after you, Jackson State. Like
Mhm.
I'm a pray for you. I hope nothing bad happens, but people are coming after Primetime. People are coming after Shador. People are
Mhm.
coming after Travis Hunter and no one recruiting the nation. They are coming. Y'all got to answer. Like Primetime said, y'all
Especially
got
Memphis people. Jerry,
is
no, Memphis people do not play,
They
honey.
do not play. They will
Y'all
come
better
and get
stop
you.
sleeping on Memphis people.
shoot.
They will
Okay.
get you and your car.
Exactly. So like Primetime said, y'all got 10 times to beat us. So
Nah,
man,
yeah.
man, these SWAT teams better make them games count for real, cause if they don't, we already done woke up a sleeping giant and woken up a
Already.
sleeping how you Titan. That's gonna be crazy.
Man, it
Uh,
almost seems like that Jackson State, Dion, he think he's better than everybody else. He's like, oh, I'm not, y'all not on my level. I'm not gonna waste my time messing with y'all. But don't forget, Jackson State, where do you come from? Where'd you start?
Mm.
Don't
Started
forget
from the
that.
bottom,
Mm-hmm.
now we here. It
Hmm.
started
That's a
from the bottom.
statement
Now my
there.
whole team coming here.
Oh, we.
Yes, sure.
Exactly.
But one question. Now you gonna move to the next topic. What team do y'all see for the next year that Tennessee State would play in that classic game?
I
Ooh.
was actually just thinking about that because I'm thinking of one, TSU is like the epitome of kind of the football HBCU culture in the state of Tennessee and all of Tennessee. Like, yes, you have Lemoyne, yes, you have Lane College, you got Meharry Medical School as far as HBCUs go,
Mm-hmm.
but TSU for the community of Tennessee is like, that's it. So it would have to be somewhere I feel like it's close because that's what benefits them as far as matching up with JSU because of proximity, right? JSU is just in Jackson, Mississippi, driving distance to Nashville. So if it's anything, I feel like, I don't know, what would be a good matchup? Maybe Alabama A&M maybe or Alabama
Oh,
State, either one of those. I don't know. I don't. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking just beyond football. That's what I'm trying to get across because, again, it was inclusive with businesses that were thriving. You got to think of the overall atmosphere. Like for instance, who else would we see competing against FAMU if not Bethune? You know what I mean? Like thinking outside of just the football game in and of itself, like it has to be someone who has a packing fan base, coming with the heat, not afraid of a challenge. And I'm just like, JSU is that it, I mean, gotta give it to them. That's that group. This is a fair matchup for that type of event. So I don't know. I mean, we can go
What
down
what
further
about the
south and
boot?
go southern.
What,
I was just
what
about to
about the
say, I
boot?
was like,
Y'all be
go
traveling
down.
now.
ooh.
But
Shoot,
see, we
cause
already have it with the Bayou Classic. You know what I mean? Like now, granted, what's the difference is the Bayou Classic is always held during Thanksgiving weekend. So to
mm-hmm.
have the distinction because they're never getting rid of the Bayou Classic. I don't ever see that, and if it does
No.
happen, it's going hell freezes over.
Oh
So
yeah.
in essence, if it even if it was between Grambling or Southern, it definitely has to stay in that second week or first week of September,
Mm-hmm.
which in essence I don't foresee that to be a problem for Southern or Grambling just because their conference, I mean their event is going to be in that November timeframe. So I don't know, it could work, but I don't know how the fan base would appreciate having two of the same concept of classics, if that makes sense.
I
you
mean,
know
but you got to think about it. FAMU has 2 classic games every year. I mean, now they do.
that's true.
Like
Yeah, now they do. Yeah,
so you
yeah.
got to think about it when you like. For me, this is just me thinking. When I go to a classic game, I was like, okay, I get to go to 2 exciting events that
Hmm.
I may not see people until that event. So I can get my family and friends together. I can get my little friends from Bethune. I can get my little friends from Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? I can meet those people in that time period. We could come together, have a good time, and,
Yeah.
you laugh, watch football, and enjoy the weekend. in a good environment. I mean, I know Memphis does have its downfalls, but still, you still got barbecue. You still can enjoy the people. You still can do
Hmm.
stuff and go out. Like that's what
That's
football
true.
needs. Because
Man,
in the beginning of the season, almost literally every FBS and FCS school, they have a bowl game in the beginning of the season.
Right.
So, it. I say do it. Either if you rotate Southern and Grambling every year, that's still good because you can rotate, or you can just solidify that one team. And it's like, okay,
Right.
this is ours. We're going to make this our own now, since y'all want to leave. So that's how I feel.
No,
I can see
that's a good point. That's a good point.
I can see Gremlin actually sustaining that, man, just for the simple fact of you got Who Dat Nation playing, it's two NFL greats. Well, not necessarily greats, but you got two NFL people that work in the NFL coming together as one to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but Memphis, man, Memphis is a great area for that game, man. The tailgating will be amazing. The restaurants, the food, and all that. It's a perfect spot for this game. Jackson State, I don't know what's going on with them, man, but they got to pull it together.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. Even if they were to pull it out, it has to be a team that's going to hit as hard as JSU did, as far as the matchup between them and TSU. It has to be hit as hard. Otherwise, the classic is not going to be the same. It could be potentially ruined for future, revenues for, like we said, small businesses. We're thinking about family and friends who literally come together for that event. Like, I know I used to attend it as well. I always look forward to the Southern Heritage Classic. Didn't really care about the football game at the time because, I was younger. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be around in the community, the people, the culture, the tradition of it. So, I mean, it would be even though I'm not going to be surprised if they do pull out, the rest of the years, or if they just finish out the contract and don't want to renew it. I wouldn't be surprised, but I do feel like it'll be very heartbreaking for that community to experience that. So I just
Yeah,
hope that they think about that overall and not just, like I said, that selfish mindset of what can it do for us. No, it's not just about you. It's about, the foundation that we've created, especially HBCUs. Like, we're all about our tradition. Don't change
Definitely.
that. You can
Definitely.
add to it. You can, modify it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But to take it away, it's not giving. It's not giving.
I
so
feel. I feel.
yeah.
Shoot.
Mm-mm.
So do y'all think next year will be the last year, or is they gonna just renew it or what?
I don't know, guys. I don't
I
know.
feel like this is what I see with prime time for Shador's coming up years. He wants to face a good FCS team, and to order for Shador and his boys to face a good quality FCS teams, because the DN stated he's not playing a Division 1 game. He's not playing a money game. He is not playing a money game at all. So for him to face a good quality team, they have to get out that classic game.
Yeah,
They have to. So like, I understand why they're doing it, but for me, the way they did it, they shouldn't have did it that way. So that's
True.
how I feel about it. But I mean, all hats off to Dion. If he wants to go that route, he should have did it a different way. Say, hey, this is our last year playing, blah blah blah. Okay, got y'all, and ride these 2 more years out with Shador playing the FCS team that everybody can talk about. It could be on ESPN and all that other stuff. That's how I feel. Like, cause it's too much talk in the town where, oh, they can beat James Madison, oh, they can beat North Dakota, oh, blah 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 this and blah blah that. Like, you talking all that mess. I mean, you saw. I mean, you saw it happen to Fam. Fam was ready, but mistakes happen, and you can't make those mistakes in those games. And knowing how bad that offensive line was at Jackson State, Shador would have been battered, bruised, and crippled.
That
Shoot.
that's so true though.
Yeah, so like that, I think that's what's gonna happen. And one of the teams from the SWAC. I don't see one of the teams from the MEAC. The only team that from the MEAC is South Carolina State, and
Yeah,
that drive is too long for South Carolina
it's too
State to
long,
make.
right?
Yeah, that drive is kind of, you got to think about it. You from Columbia, and you got to go to Memphis. That's a long drive for South Carolina
Nine.
State. So
That's a long drive for
yeah,
sure.
so I'm surprised South Carolina State be coming to Tallahassee, and that's a long drive. So
Mhm.
yeah,
They
but
don't want to do that.
yeah. South Carolina State travel, but when it get out of 8 hours, when it get out of 7 hours, they be, oh no.
Right. And that was so convenient for Jackson State. I mean, Jackson State is what, 2.5, 3 hours from Memphis?
Yep,
Nothing. Easy.
yep.
Ugh, I hope they don't. But on a lighter news, guys, North Carolina A&T Randolph Ross breaks his world leading record, running 44.83. That man was smoking. He ran this past weekend, Clemson against it was the 22 Tiger Paw Invitational on
Mm-hmm.
Friday. So that was exciting to see that. If you guys have followed Randolph, he was in the 2020, well, technically 21, but 2020 Tokyo Olympics, won gold in the 4x400. He's an outstanding athlete. And just for him to continue this upward streak, like it's almost like he does not get tired. He doesn't. There's no way. So yeah, if you guys have a chance, or if you already saw that that run from him to come from behind, sheesh,
Yeah,
he smoked immediate. It was
yeah.
amazing.
Most definitely. I gotta give a shout out to North Carolina A&T. They track team always been good. Like it's,
Mhm.
I don't know what they putting them boys in, and them chambers. What them chambers called, the little
Them cold chambers.
yeah, little cold
Hmm.
chambers and stuff. Like I don't know what they doing down there, but they doing something, because year after year after year, they producing track athletes. Like,
Yeah.
and they getting rings. They they looking for slave feet, and they finding them because
One
they
of his teammates,
running.
Elijah, he was also a part of the Tokyo Games with him. He covered an opening 200 meter for 20.90 seconds. Like
Hmm.
it's right there neck and neck with Ross, but I mean, when you're looking at these athletes and seeing one, the level of training that they're putting in, and then how often they are, because I feel like track is one of those sports that you really never stop training. And I feel like any
Yeah,
athlete can say that, they have their times, or they're constantly training, they'll take a step back, but when you're dealing with athletes that are either one, training for the Olympics, two, continue training for their collegiate career, it's like, do you really ever get a rest? That's what I'm really impressed with his highlights, and how he's continuing to break those his own leading records. Like that's
hmm,
Yeah.
amazing. It's not even about anybody else. He's beating himself. That's a whole another type of champion. So it's astounding to see that. Definitely a great job for them.
It's a quote that Kevin Hart says. He says, "Every day I wake up and I plan to beat myself. If I
Mm,
could beat myself every day," and that is exactly what Randolph Ross is doing. He started off with a time of 4:45.37 and got it down to 44.83. I can see that trending in the right direction. I can see probably in the near future, not the next time he races, but maybe the time after that, he'll get a time that's better than that. It's going to keep on getting shorter and shorter, and he'll one day be a gold Olympian like that everyone knows, a household name. Like a Usain Bolt type of guy.
I hope he runs again. I mean, although he competed for the 4x4, he missed it for his just the single race, for his independent race for the 400, just by a couple tenths of a second. And the way that he's progressing, like you said, and moving forward, I would want him to try again. I feel like he is. I haven't heard anything about him going for 24, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for it, because I think he can definitely make it into that event for himself, as well as the 4x400. So it'll be interesting to see his career. But that's awesome. And shout out to the HBCUs, coming up,
Right.
Definitely.
being the exposure that we need at the Olympic level, in addition to the, making headlines for the collegiate and, all the different statistics that they're building up for themselves. A&T, y'all rocking it. That's for sure.
Definitely need that
Definitely.
exposure.
And
Yes.
last but not least,
Ah,
I'm
the
talk.
love.
I'm gonna tell that Fitz adding gymnastics. HBCU, and we got our Miss Gymnastics. She be flipping, ripping, and dipping up in the
Oh,
sky.
child, I haven't flipped and
Shoot.
ripped in a long time.
But
Oh
hey, I'm
my.
gonna let this girl talk to y'all because she know way better than what we do. Well, we're gonna
Listen,
ask her some good questions after she tell us, what's going on, how it's producing, and how it's gonna change the landscape of HBCUs.
absolutely. First and foremost, congratulations to Fix University. This is something that me personally, I've been waiting for since I was 16 years old, trying to be recruited myself, you know, coming from an HBCU family, wanting to compete in gymnastics, wanting to go to an HBCU, and having to basically decide between my two most passionate loves. You know what I mean? Going and trying to figure out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. So Fisk, I mean, this is beyond just gymnastics. This is providing another opportunity for collegiate gymnasts to have, or recruiting collegiate gymnasts. It's going beyond just having another collegiate sport for HBCUs, because it's one of those things where, you know gymnastics as a whole has had its attention in the Olympic arena, but when it comes to college, we're just now getting to a point where we're getting a lot more exposure than before. Like, just this past year, gymnastics was aired on ABC Live, and you think about, they've been existing since 1982. So it's been great to see that college gymnastics is definitely building, and I can only foresee some great, things happening for Fisk. But just a little information: they are an NAIA school, so they'll be competing at the USA national level, which is a little bit different from NCAA. Now, what does that entail for the future? Maybe they will be able to vie for a position to be in the NCAA. That would be a great goal for them. It will take a little bit of time because it goes through a little bit of logistics, but still, for them to be representatives as the first HBCU to host women artistic gymnastics, that's huge, especially during Black History Month. Like, we're doing so much in this month, I can't keep up, y'all. Like, I'm like,
Definitely.
this is my heart and my soul. And also shout out to Brown Girls Do Gymnastics. That is an organization filtered for supporting athletes from underrepresented and marginalized groups, especially in the sport of gymnastics. And they've done a phenomenal job with having conversations with HBCUs, and they sat down a plan for Fisk University, and they got it done. And they're hosting conferences and clinics and invitationals within the organization, all filtered around Black women and brown women in the sport of gymnastics. So I hope that when they get this together, they're starting January 23, so they're going to be starting next season, Fisk University. So that's huge for them to be able to have that quick turnaround, and I can foresee them doing a great job. So we'll see, but it doesn't stop here. I'm hoping that Fisk University is going to light a fire, especially for our NCAA institutions, so that they can have an opportunity as well. Because that'll be huge to have an HBCU gymnastics program at the NCAA national championships. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that is top tier. So I'm hoping that the decision Fisk University and their program administrators has made is going to spark some conversations for these other institutions that have the ability to do it. They just need to do it. Point blank, period.
Definitely. I got a question. Like, how do, like, since Fisk getting into this, and this is probably new to them, just like it's new to every HBCU.
Yeah.
Like, you would just recruit regular, like you just go to, I don't want to say match. You'll go to an open or a gymnastic open. I guess that's what it's
Yeah.
called. Okay.
Well, you know what's funny, and since, I'm in the coaching arena, I coach gymnastics currently at the Division 3 level. And what's interesting about our sport is social media has been a huge, huge help. We actually are rarely that type of sport that goes to competitions or go to meets anymore, just because we're constantly viewing our, prospective athletes, their videos, their updates, them putting routines together. And honestly, these athletes are kind of getting, the right information on how to, be recruited. And they'll post all the videos at their competitions, which saves us a trip. That's saving our
Mm-hmm.
expenses to go and travel. We can put that on apparel. We can put that on traveling to actual competitions for ourselves and our teams. So honestly, even I don't foresee Fisk having an issue recruiting women because one, there are only 82 or forgetting the number, but around 80 programs total, Division 1, 2, and 3 for gymnastics. That's it. So by them adding, you know what I mean, that
Wow.
only opens up another door for these athletes to have a home. And not to mention, Fisk University is going to be the only program for the state of Tennessee that offers collegiate gymnastics or collegiate
Wow.
intercollegiate gymnastics. So yeah, it's huge. And I feel like that should also be highlighted for this university. Tennessee State doesn't have it. Let's even talk about the larger schools. UT Knox does not have a gymnastics program. Austin P, no.
Robin, we lost sound.
Oh, I
But
got you.
all right.
You got UT Chattanooga, you got all the UTs. None of them have collegiate gymnastics, which when you're looking at it from that perspective, it can't be a money situation. It can't. You're not going to sit up here and convince me that UT Knox, UT of all the UTs, doesn't have enough amount of money, and Fisk University, HBCU, private institution, is pulling their reins together to be able to offer it, even if it is at an NAIA level. Who cares at this point,
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to speak volumes as far as recruitment for them, especially in that region. So yeah, I think that's it's not as hard as people perceive it to be as far as recruiting for the sport at all.
Okay, cool.
And guys, let me say, for people that don't know, Robin is a guru on this stuff. She has been going on and on about HBCU gymnastics for the longest. I want to say
Years.
when she talked to me about it, it was about what 2 years ago or
Mhm.
three, maybe 3 years ago,
It was
and
dream.
3 years ago, and she's been going around to HBCUs, North Carolina A&T, Winston-Salem State. I don't know exactly all of them, but it was probably 5 or 6 or maybe more than that she went to, to meet with to talk about adding gymnastics. And to see this dream come to fruition, it is amazing for me. I know she's feeling the same feeling of excitement
It
that
really
is hopefully.
Yeah, like it's just again, it's a step forward. Is it done? Absolutely not. Because again, I do want them to realize we have to also get this in the NCAA level, in addition to the NAIA. I want that to be first and foremost. Again, congratulating Fisk and all their accomplishments on making this decision. But it shouldn't stop here. Like I don't want anyone to get complacent with this news. That's what if anything that people take away from this message than this, history in the making is it should not at all stop here. Like if anything, this is the foundation that we're going to continue building upon. You know what I mean? So we'll see, but I'm excited.
Definitely. You gotta think about the little black girls that see, all these black athletes on TV.
Yes.
Like now they have a chance to go to the HBCU. Now they have a chance to support their own. Now it can wake other HBCU ups that does have the money to support it. Because all you need is really technically all you need is a gym. all,
That-
all you need is a gym, and I know damn near all the SWAC got gyms.
Yeah.
Shit, like
And you know
all
what's
the
crazy?
SWAC got gyms. So
All of
like,
these new programs that are adding. So also shout out to the other programs outside of HBCUs, but all the other collegiate and gymnastics programs that just added in this past year. There are some of them are partnering up with local gyms that, they want to see more college gymnastics. So they're doing the support is there. You know, we can build up. If the issue is that, oh, we don't have a practice facility where our athletes going to train, boom, check mark. We got the support. We have club gymnastics in the areas of all these HBCUs that are ready and willing to say, hey, use our facility until you get right. No problem. You know, LIU, a school in Long Island University, just added during a pandemic. They're using their facility, a local gym, thriving. You know, so it's possible. It just needs to be done. That's it. So
I
we'll
mean,
see, guys.
little do these universities know, these gymnasts, a lot of these black gymnasts that we're seeing and are highlighted nowadays, Gabby Douglas, all that. If we would have had HBCU gymnastics, they probably would be going to your university.
You know, I keep saying that. I said, imagine, and even if, you know what I'm saying, even if they didn't, I know they would have acknowledged it. You know, let's be honest, let's be realistic. You know, all these athletes, they go to where they feel loved, they go to where they feel like they're going to be able to contribute, and that speaks volumes for any sport. But at least give them the option. Like, that's where my mind is at. I'm not saying that you're going to get every top tier recruit. That doesn't happen at any school. You
Yeah.
know, we strive for it and we want to, and we'll get, a couple from here and there, but they have options. And that's where I feel like the message needs to be portrayed and speak volumes of, and give these athletes the options so that they can choose where they want to go, and then provide them with those services should they choose your university. But they can't choose it if you don't provide it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Imagine the SWAC open. Ooh, ooh,
The SWAC
got goosebumps going. The SWAC and the MEAC Open presented you by
Listen.
by Coca-Cola.
Okay, because here's what me, I'm envisioning a gymnastics meet. You got the band playing, you know what I'm saying? Intermission in between the events and stuff.
No,
You
Robin. No, get this. Instead of you having the speaker play the song, you got the band playing the song. Ooh, that's fire.
all you
That's fire.
song. I just foresee that that is like a dream of mine. I don't even know if that's legal, but I don't foresee why it wouldn't be, because the rules of gymnastics is that you just can't have lyrics. The band don't unless
They ain't gotta sing.
they literally are an instrumental event. Like, come on, man. That's like my dream. I would love that. I would love.
This for all my FAMU people. Just imagine you at an open at the gym. You got DJ Loose Kid over there. you got the Marching 100 over there. Shoot, you got people swag surfing at an open over here. Imagine that environment at a FAMU open.
Man, and it's like you don't even have to know anything about gymnastics to want to attend. I mean, just the Olympics taken into consideration. So many people watching the Olympics have no idea exactly about gymnastics, about the scores, what you do. It's an exciting sport to watch. You know what I mean? So to bring it in the culture that we offer for HBCUs, undefeated.
And you know we're gonna bring swag to it, so why not have it at an HBCU?
Probably scared. That's probably what it is, but I don't have time for that. So I don't have the time, the patience, or the goal. I need for y'all to get it up. So
I want to add one more thing to that before we switch. Think about at HBCUs, you have the women that are doing the gymnastics, but you also have a lot of black males that are interested in, doing front flips, doing flips like that, and where we come from.
Right.
I think that's a whole nother side of the ball. We can get black males into the sport doing things that we love to do anyway.
Because, like, even think of, just like what you said, like a lot of these athletes that we're seeing, like if you've ever watched America's Got Talent, or if you've ever seen, athletes flipping on the street, they have natural raw talent, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give them a space and opportunity, man. And it can only go up. You know what I mean?
Put a scholarship right behind it. Hey, you hear one of your boys? Hey, I'm going to Fish. I got a gymnastics scholarship. I don't know about y'all. I'm going to Fish.
Right. It's guys, we need it. But I mean, it's forthcoming. that's what we work on. That's what we plan on. And again, Fisk is doing what needs to be done, and it should have been done a long time ago. But here we are now. Their new program starting up 22, 23. They're going to be hiring staff. They're going to be recruiting. So it's going to be exciting to see how they're going to be able to trailblaze for other institutions to follow. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap up the show. Make sure you guys watch the Legacy Bowl that comes on.
Legacy Bowl and the HBCU Classic.
HBCU Classic, definitely.
19th.
Make sure y'all stay tuned into those two things. Make sure y'all watch, support our boys, and support. The girls gonna be out there cheerleading for the game, so definitely support them too. So man, just support HBCU all around, man. NBA doing something big. The Legacy Classic, that's something big in New Orleans. Mardi Gras gonna be down there, so I know it's gonna be a whole lot of black people down there, man. Go and support a football game. Football done with now. You can catch one more game.
Yeah.
One more.
One
You
more.
can catch one more game. So
Yeah.
definitely catch that, man. Happy Valentine's Day again for everybody, who got their little Valentine this week, Shoot. Shout out to everybody like that. Definitely we coming next week, we coming hard, we coming better, we coming more stuff. Later on in a couple of these shows, we're gonna break down each team's schedule. So, we're gonna break down who had a boo-boo schedule and who had a good schedule. So, we just waiting on a couple more teams to drop their little schedules, and we definitely gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna definitely wrap up March Madness with Coach K. So definitely check that out, man. Guys, be blessed. I'll see y'all. Shout out y'all Instagram and IG, man, so they can follow y'all, man. I'm gonna have it in the comments and below.
Yes, y'all. Follow me, RA_ECC910. That is Ecclesiastics910. Follow me Instagram. I'm don't really be on Snapchat, but y'all can still follow me on that as well. I'm gonna be watching y'all more than y'all watch me, honey. Shout me out, watch me. It's up.
Y'all follow me on Instagram, Mark MARK _Cuban QUEBAN. Follow me on Twitter. I'm good _son. I'm good, son. That's all.
Definitely. You can follow me on Bridges on Top everything, man. Bridges on Top. That's all platforms right there. Definitely follow the Pre-Snap Read on Instagram and Twitter. We definitely trying to make our Twitter and Instagram more stronger. I'm definitely gonna try to take more pride in that. That's my bad for the first week, but your boy gonna get it. Your boy gonna
All right,
get
we growing and moving. All y'all gotta do
Yeah.
is keep supporting. Keep
Exactly.
supporting, watch it.
Exactly. And guys, I'm gonna see y'all, and we out.
Goodbye.
A good show, guys. Good show.
Yes, sir.
Good show.